Tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me. They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone. You are not alone. I've been bullied too. You are not alone. I am fully you. Got no upper hand. We be pulling through. They don't understand, but I fully do. I've been the fat kid. I've been the laughing stock. I've been the kid they never wanted till I rapped a lot. I've been the dumb one, but they know I'm smart. I've been the loving one. I've been the broken heart. I've been the parent every day, but I get no respect. You see, I'm working every day, but can't get over that. Yeah, I've been all alone. I've been the ugly duckling, trying to show my kids you gotta fall in love with something. I've been the proud man. I've been the bad guy. I've been the clown and I've been the sad guy. Now nothing feels right when you ain't got a home. Yo, it's alright, cause you are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not
I'm in
alone.
that bright mind, stuck in a dark room, trying to get my life right, but they always mark you. And I've been the skinny kid who's always acted different, but they'll never like you if you never fit in it. But I've been ridiculed to the point that I was skipping school, trying to get away from my problems by taking sips of booze. I've been depressed, trying to get away from stress. Every day I feel a new pain and then I stay in bed. But I've been suicidal, I've been the loner. Every day I look in the mirror and feel it's over. I've been the nice guy, I gave them handouts, then they turned their back on me and now they go up. I've been the addict, looking for another hit. I've been relapsing cause no one ever gave an ish. I've been the angry guy, I've been the one they hate. I've been the problem child, looking for someone with faith.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong with me.
You are not alone.
They tell me what's wrong with me. They always tell me what's wrong